The real deal.
What's going on, my real dealers? It's Jake from The Real Deal Airsoft, and today I've been having a leak coming from one of my gas blowback pistols, my high Capa, so I figured I'd show you how to dive in and fix these leaks. Alright guys, so first things first, we have to identify where the leak is coming from, so just remove your base plate. There's only a total of really 3 spots where it could leak from. Your fill valve, there's a gasket O-ring here, and then the output valve. These are the 3 places, the most common places for it to leak. First thing you want to do is, if it has no gas in it, just put a little bit of gas. Water helps identify where it's coming from. Alright, as you can see, I saw the bubbles were coming from right here, which means that this middle gasket is the issue. First thing you want to do is you want to undo this screw right here. Alright guys, on this screw there's also an O-ring here. You want to clean this off and lubricate this with silicone oil as well. This was the issue, this O-ring right here. This O-ring seemed to be the issue, so we're going to remove the O-ring and we're going to clean it. The majority of the time, a little piece of dirt or a little hair will get onto this O-ring and that will break the seal. So my first recommendation would be to let this soak in silicone oil, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to clean it and lubricate it. Over time, the O-ring becomes dry and brittle, which allows for crack and not as good of a seal. When we lubricate this with silicone oil, it's basically absorbing all of the moisture again and puffing up. That's the whole concept. So right now we're just going to lubricate this. Normally I'd say to let it sit in a cup, but for the sake of the video, we're just going to lubricate this thoroughly. Right now I'm just using silicone shock oil. It's used for like RC cars and Airsoft and stuff like that. Normally I'd say let this sit in the bottom of a cup and put some silicone oil on it, but I'm confident that this thing was just dry. You want to wipe down this area and clean it off well. Alright, let's reapply the O-ring. Now that we have the O-ring back on, I'm going to clean it off again, make sure there's no hair or particles on here, and lubricate it again. And this one has a thicker viscosity.
That's a thick ass boy! Damn!
Pretty lubed up. Once you have the base lubricated, you want to clean and lubricate up here as well. You can see this ridge. That ridge is where the O-ring gets pressed onto. So this is where the seal is. You want to clean that and lubricate that as well. All around. Now time to just reassemble the mag. I like to hold this tight and firm so there's no gap between the base and the mag. Insert our screw. Remember I said to lubricate. Drop some lube in there. Oh yeah. And just start screwing her down. It'll catch, just be patient. And as you feel the screw tightening, you don't want to over tighten because you don't want to strip any screws or squash any O-rings. You just want to get it to the point where you can hand tighten it, and once you feel that resistance, just stop. Alright, let's gas her up and see what we have. I don't hear any leaks. Let's test it. No leaks, guys. The leak has been fixed. And again, let's say you had a leak that was coming from the output valve or the fill valve. There's a special key which I got off of e-bike. It's a valve key. This key is specific to gas blowback magazines, and it has specific valve fittings which aid in removing these valves. So if you're into pistols, do yourself a favor, pick up one of these valve keys. It'll make disassembling the mag very easy. I'd say 90% of all leaks come from right here. Do yourself a favor, pick up one of those assortment packs so you always have spare O-rings on hand. Luckily this O-ring wasn't damaged, but if it was, I would have to replace it. 90% of the time it's just a dry O-ring. That's the real deal. Until next time, see you on the field.
The real deal.